Today, four of the most prominent Platner replacements considering the race officially launched campaigns. We go to Phil Hirschkorn now with a look at the race to become the party's next U.S. Senate nominee.
Come November, Nirav Shah will be Maine's next U.S. Senator.
The runner-up in the Democratic gubernatorial primary, Nirav Shah, has pivoted to the Senate race, supporters giving his old campaign signs a facelift. The former Maine CDC director arguing he's the most electable Democrat in a race against Republican Senator Susan Collins.
This race is a referendum on Senator Collins and her enabling of Donald Trump's worst instincts and most harmful policies. She has had 30 years to stand up against reckless foreign wars. She has not done so. She has had ample time to stand up against Donald Trump's far-right judges and his far-wrong cabinet picks, and she has not done so.
Collins did oppose confirming Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and FBI Director Kash Patel, as well as Trump's picks for Surgeon General and U.S. CDC Director, who were then withdrawn. The third and fourth place finishers in the Democratic gubernatorial primary, former State Senate President Troy Jackson and Secretary of State Shenna Bellows, announced their Senate campaigns today. Both strongly embraced Graham Platner and welcomed being his top picks for governor until the rape allegations story, when they swiftly called for Platner to step aside. Jackson now touting endorsements by more than 50 current and former state legislators. Bellows calling attention to her standing up to Trump on voting changes and ICE deployments. Former congressional staffer Jordan Wood is in. He finished third in the Democratic 2nd Congressional District primary, with more CD2 votes than Jackson or Bellows. Wood sees himself as ideologically aligned with Platner.
I represent a new generation of leadership, as does Graham. He's only a few years older than I am. Our commitment to anti-corruption money politics reform is very important to me. Medicare for all, universal child care, these are issues I have always campaigned on, and it's the same platform that Graham supports.
Our Phil Hirschkorn there. Wood and Shah are both following a similar path to Platner, emphasizing today that they come from outside the political establishment and are not career politicians. What has happened over the past 2 days is something Maine election officials say is highly unusual. The Maine Secretary of State's office says it is not aware of any U.S. Senate candidate withdrawing after winning a primary. There have been instances in the late 1800s and early 1900s where U.S. Senate or congressional seats had to be filled after someone resigned from office, but those happened during an active term, not in the middle of an election. Maine Republican Party leaders also say they are not aware of a similar case. We reached out to the Maine Democratic Party for comment, but have not yet heard back. Several Democrats have already said they, again, are interested in the nomination.